All right, so if you are in your 40s and you're thinking about starting on YouTube, well, this is for you because I did a video recently that I said on that video, if you are in your 40s, you must start a YouTube channel. Like you should, you must, I would say you have to, because why? Well, in that video, I talked about you have a lot of experience because you're older, you have more wisdom, you have more experience. So if you didn't watch that video, I'll link that up in the description. But this video is really to answer the question that I've been asked. And that is, Scott, if you were starting over in your 40s, what would you do? So I'm going to demonstrate that right here, right now, today. And well, actually, you know what? I don't really like this location. So let's go ahead and let's move locations. All right, so part of the reason that I wanted to switch locations was because you don't need to have a fancy studio in order to get started. All you need is that thing right there, a phone, a microphone. That's probably one of the more important pieces, is just getting yourself like a lav mic, and you can pick that up on Amazon. I'll leave everything up in the description. But that's really all you need. You need a tripod. You know, this thing here is probably under 20 bucks. I'm outside right now. There are some insects making noise, but this mic probably does a good job. But I'm in a location, there's sun coming in on me. It's not too bright, but it's okay. It's good enough. So my point is, I wanted to share that with you and kind of break up where I was. I might go back inside though, because it's kind of hot out here. But the first thing you need to understand is it's not necessarily about the equipment that you have or the studio setup that you have. Not necessary, okay? And you don't need the high tech. You don't even need to be great on camera, and you can use this right here, sticky notes. I've got 5 bullets on here that I want to share with you that if I was starting over today from scratch, that's what I'd be doing. And I'm kind of doing it right here with this channel, Live Video School. It's a fairly brand new channel. So let's dig in. The first thing on my list is you need to figure out what you want to talk about. What do you want to share? What do you have knowledge on? Pick your niche, or as some people say, niche. I say niche because I like to say riches are in the niches, and it just rhymes better. But seriously, the reason why is because you do want to have something that you can continually talk about. So you might want to do a little bit of research and make sure that people on YouTube are watching these types of videos, but I wouldn't go too crazy there. I would just make sure that there is an audience out there that is interested in the thing that you're interested in. If you're interested in ham radios, there's probably a community out there. There's probably people looking up different YouTube videos. So just start focusing on that niche, all right? And from there, then everything else I'm gonna share with you kind of falls into place, all right? So that's number one. And if you don't know what that is, start thinking to yourself, like, what am I interested in? Like, what am I genuinely interested in? What am I passionate about? What do I want to learn more about? People think like it has to be about just their experience, but it doesn't. It could be about something that you've done and that you've enjoyed doing, but you want to learn more of, or you want to get better at. So there's a lot of different things that we can do. It doesn't have to be all figured out. All right. So that's the very first thing. So now here I am sitting at the kitchen table, and I wanted to prove to you once again, it doesn't have to be in a fancy studio. I just came from outside to inside, and here we are. All right, so my second thing, okay, on the list, after we've figured out our niche, we want to basically start creating content. What can we do? What is the first thing that we could do? And that is tell a story. Tell your story. Why did you decide to do this? The reason why I decided to start Live Video School after I've already done other channels, by the way, is because now I've learned a ton about video over the years. And I love it. I love learning more. I love experimenting. I love testing. And now I want to help people like you that are watching this really know that you don't have to have anything fancy, because a lot of our best performing videos have been just real and raw. Now, the one thing is, if you don't have a good microphone, that could get a little annoying, and people would be like, wow, I just can't hear it good, so I can't understand it, even more so than the video quality. I would say audio is probably one of the most important pieces. Now, the microphone I'm using is a DJI. I'll link it up in the description. I've had so many people ask me since the other videos that I posted. It runs around $150 with the transmitter, but well worth the money, okay? So that's the second thing that you need to do is tell your story, okay? Just like I just did right there. And I would do a whole video on why I started this channel. So do a why I'm starting this channel video. Like that would be your first one. Then after that, to get ideas, I would just come up with 10 questions that people have either asked you or you have asked when you were first starting. So what do people ask you that are new? And then what have you asked in the past when you were starting or when you were at a certain stage? And then once you go through those questions, you're just going to basically answer those questions doing this right here. Write them down and say, hey, if you're just starting to learn how to bass fish, I was there once. And the number one thing is you want to make sure you go at the right time of the day. A lot of people think that you can go in the evening. It's actually better in the morning. And you explain why. Okay, that's it. That's what you do. Now, right now, I don't know how it's going to look on camera, but it just got a little bit darker in here. That's the hard part about using natural light. But if that's all you got, that's all you got. Okay, I'm sure you don't mind. You might be like, oh, the sun just went in, or, it's not as bright as it was. But you just really care about the information. And that's really it. All right, so now I'm on the couch. I'm in another location. And the reason why I'm doing this, by the way, is because I'm trying to prove to you, it doesn't matter the location. It doesn't matter the room. It just matters that you show up and you deliver value. All right, so let's get to the third thing I want to discuss, that if I was starting over today on YouTube in my 40s, what would I do? I would do this. I'd create a schedule. See, I just cheated and looked at my bullet points because I did this ahead of time. That's all you got to do. It's not that technical. Real easy. Post-it notes. All right. So create a schedule. This is probably one of the more important things is create a schedule. What can you allow per week? I would say all you need is an hour per week to actually record and shoot your video and upload it. You only need an hour, and that's including editing. Okay, so it doesn't have to be this really long process. But the reason why I say schedule it is because where people get stuck is they don't actually book it in their calendar. They just go, oh, I'll do one next week. I like to be more specific. I'm going to say my recording day is going to be Wednesdays at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Or maybe for you, maybe you're still working a 9 to 5 and you're like, I have Saturdays off. I'm going to do it Saturday at noon or Saturday at 2. Maybe you have kids and they're still running around the house at a certain time, or grandkids. Doesn't matter, okay? You just have to figure out what is the time that you're going to allow to get this one video shot, recorded, edited, and uploaded. And then stick to it. The other part of this is commitment. You got to be able to commit to this. And you got to enjoy it. That's why if you pick a niche that you're interested in or you're passionate about, then you can show up very easily. And it's not work. Like, this is not work for me because I know what I'm talking about. I've done it. I've lived it, and I'm living it right now. And I want to share this with people like you. All right. So that is really important, is creating the day or the days that you're going to be working on your videos. And then from there, when are you going to upload those? So make sure that you put that in your calendar. Mine is Wednesdays at noon. Okay. That's when I record. My uploads are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that's on my bigger channel, Brand Creators. And now on this channel, we are doing the same, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We created a schedule, and now we are committing to sticking to it. All right, so real quick, I had to cut in here. I was putting the video clips together so I could post the video. And I realized that this next shot, I actually screwed up and I cut my head off to about here. So that's not how you should really do it. But I'm leaving it in because I want you to see that even if you screw up and you ran out of time, as long as the content's good, it's going to be just fine. So I wanted to point that out before you watch this next part of this video. All right, so here we are. We're back to the original location. And the next thing I want to say, that if I was starting over at 40, a YouTube channel that is, here's what I would do. okay? And this one here is important as well. And that is, don't get hung up on the tech. And I kind of already mentioned this, but this is where you need to keep the tech simple, okay? Really, really simple. And so for me, in order to do this video, all I needed was my phone, which is used right now to record this. It's being used. It's an iPhone 15, and we're using cinematic mode. But if you don't have the cinematic mode for whatever reason, just use the video mode. It doesn't matter. And then I am using this DJI mic, which is plugged into the phone, and it's receiving this audio. And then I have a cheap tripod. Like, that's it. That's the setup. Now, to edit this, I'm going to use ScreenFlow, which is a Mac product, and I've been using that for years, but I've also used CapCut. So it doesn't have to be more technical than that. That's really all that you need in order to get this thing going. And as far as the lighting goes, I have used only natural light here. Was it perfect? Probably not. Do you care? Probably not. It's the content. That's all that we're doing here is we're showing up, we're making it super easy to be able to do, so there's no friction there. I can't tell you how many times I hear people saying, I'm gonna get started when I get a better camera. I'm gonna get started when I get better lighting. I'm gonna get started when I get a better microphone. To me, those are all excuses. We need to start now. People are not going to be looking at your content and saying like, oh, their quality isn't that great, so their information sucks. No, if your information's good, if you know what you're talking about and you help someone, they're going to be okay with it. I know I would be, okay? Like I said, I think the most important part is this right here. Even though we're talking about creating videos, the audio is probably the most important. Now, on your iPhone, it has a pretty good onboard microphone, or any of the other phones, I believe, is pretty good as long as you're close enough. But for me right now, I'm using the DJI because it works really well, and it was like less than $200. So that's what I would recommend. If you want a link to that, I'll link it up in the description. And right now, I don't know what it looks like on camera, but it just got really dark in here. The sun just went in again. Nothing I can do about it. But if I want to upgrade later, I could always add a light source, and that'll help with this. But we don't need to do that now. And now we're in another location. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because I wanted to show you that even if you have bad lighting in your house, you don't have a room with a lot of lights, go in your car and park it in the driveway like I am right now. And just use a little suction cup on your windshield and mount your phone and use your microphone. Make sure you bring that with you. And then look into the camera and explain what you want to explain or share what you want to share. This could be your studio. It's pretty controlled. All right. So no excuses. The tech does not have to be an issue. And the last thing that I would say in this whole process, probably again, one of the more important ones, is once you get it all done, it's probably not going to be perfect. It's probably not going to be your best video, but you must upload the video. All right. So make sure that you edit the video, and look how much brighter it's getting right now. I mean, my moonroof is like, the sun just came out. It's blasting on me. Wow. But just remember, you don't have to worry about that because the cameras are going to be able to self-adjust. You got your microphone, you're good. But I just wanted to kind of, again, show you this is real. This is raw. This is not heavily edited. You don't need all of that stuff, but you do need to upload that darn thing once you get it created. All right. And it doesn't have to be that hard. So hopefully this video has once again proved to you that you don't need all the fancy stuff, but what you do need to do is get started. So again, if I was to start over, let me just recap real quick. I'd pick a niche. Okay, make sure that I pick that niche. In this case, I'm picking a niche that I am very passionate about now because I've been doing video for a while and I love it and I see people struggling with it and I want to help people. So video is my thing. Okay, and now I'm also talking to people that are beginners or people that want to do something on the side to maybe possibly make some extra money with their video. Okay, so that's who it's for. That's the niche. Okay, the second thing is I tell my story in my first video, or I share why I started the channel. That's the first thing as far as like how to come up with ideas. And then to come up with more ideas, just cover those common questions that you either had when you were starting or other people are having that you think they should know. That's where we start, okay? And then from there, we're going to move on to, we're going to schedule this thing. When are we going to shoot it? When are we going to commit to this? And we're going to make sure that we lock it in like it was an appointment, okay? And then the fourth thing is we're not going to worry about all the techie stuff, right? We're going to keep it super, super, super simple. And we are just going to basically, if we have to, use our phone, a mic under $200, and a mount in your car or a tripod that's under $20, and then using a free tool like CapCut you can use to edit your videos, or if you have ScreenFlow or iMovie or any of those, you can use that. And then the final thing is just don't get so overwhelmed or perfectionism sets in where you're like, no, I can't post that. Post it. Get started, because I'll promise you this, you will be surprised that how people will respond to a video that is real and that is raw. All right. And when you are coming through as transparent and honest and willing to help someone, it's going to go a long way. And as long as the content is good, if you have something that you can help someone with, or you tell someone how you fix something or how you struggled in the past and now you've learned something, or questions that you've had, if you answer those, you are going to be helping someone, and you're always going to be a few steps ahead. And that's what you have to keep in mind. Even if you're not a expert, you're still someone that probably knows more about something than someone else. Share it. All right. So this is my little call to action to you to say, just do it. Upload the video once you do those other things, and then keep making videos. Schedule it so it's always there. Commit to it. And I'm telling you what, it could change your life. And if you want to watch the video where I talk about how YouTube changed my life almost 14 years ago, watch that video next. I'll share everything with you so you guys can see how I was able to leave my 9-to-5 almost 15 years ago. Watch that video next, and I'll see you there.